here to speak in the panel is really embedding the idea of the art of storytelling and why the arts of storytelling is important in building peace-building opportunities and approaches to building, tackling conflict resolution or conflict in the world. If we really want to understand culture and people, societies, we have to understand the stories that make up societies and not just learn to tell a story so we can get some good donorship for our non-profit. It's about harnessing the power of storytelling in the ways that we have historically connected ever since humans were sitting around the fire.
I'll tell you the story of Jahangir. He's from one of the tribal areas of Pakistan, and he, according to his culture, waving guns is a matter of pride, and if women and girls are inside their homes and if their mobility is restricted, it's also a matter of pride. And so he actually wanted to join the program to teach us a lesson, because he was the boy, so he thought that it's a young women-led organization and he can come and he can teach us the lessons very easily. So he joined our program, but when he joined the program, he was actually exposed to alternative narratives of non-violence, tolerance, pluralism and compassion. He was transformed during this process. He went to his peers, he went to his friends and transformed their lives as well. And he went back to his village and he started working with imams of the village and he mobilized them. He was the first man of his village that he took his sister and mother to vote in the elections of Pakistan, and it marked the history that how young boys can play an important role not only in peace but in strengthening the governance structures of our country.
Gendered impacts of conflict are fascinating. So I think we need to look at women as active combatants and active supporters of conflict movements as well as victims of conflict. So rather than just, we see a lot of coverage of sexual violence and gender-based violence, but it's not only that. Women are certainly impacted differentially by conflict, so through the SGBV, but also through socioeconomic marginalization. If they're already marginalized, as conflict increases, their economic marginalization can increase, and they may be left to take care of families with very few resources. But I think it's important to look at how women are engaged as well. So as combatants, as supporters of conflict, but then also as peacemakers and peace builders.
The Islam Institute has its focus around engaging religious actors and institutions. Primarily we work with Muslim and Arab communities. One of our main projects that we're wrapping up in its 5th year, it's a USAID-funded Peace Through Development project in the Sahel. The larger framework of the project is countering violent extremism in that area. So we work through dialogue, through trainings, to, in a sense, mold the local customs and norms and the religious lens that the people already have with ideas about moving the country forward in stability and peace.
Conflict sensitivity is conflict sensitivity, no matter what the context is. So when I say that, it's basically on the principles. The principles don't change just because the context change. So no matter it's the Balkans conflict where we are now at this point in time, or the Syrian context, which is a bigger issue at this point in time. I would add two more into that. You can call it a context or a working environment or something. I would say conflict, latent conflict, and manifest conflict. So in all these contexts, conflict sensitivity principles are the same. So it's just basics. Know your context, know your program, know the interactions between, and then try your level best to work on the negative impact that you have.
Conflict sensitivity is the notion that you need to be taking account of the conflict when you're working in an area where there is some kind of ongoing conflict. So whether you're working in development work, whether you're doing humanitarian assistance, whether you're doing peace building, and even the private sector needs to take account of the conflicts that are going on around them so that their operations don't make things worse in a way. That's the sort of bottom line, is that you don't make things worse. Peace building, on the other hand, is programming that tries to directly address the driving factors of conflict. So you would do an analysis and say, what's this conflict about? and can we actually address those issues directly. Whereas conflict sensitivity is trying to make sure that whatever programming you're doing is not making the conflict worse.